So I got so excited to be in person with y'all this last week that I forgot to show you a couple of the resources for writing language objectives. And they're in our shell, and I've added a couple of new ones. And if these confuse you, that's not good. So I'm hoping that these help. And so I just want to give a quick tour. I'm hoping I can make this in 5 or 6 minutes. But so here's the week 11 readings, and at the bottom there were already these four, but I added two more, and I'll show you why. So the first thing is I was talking about the importance of verbs and why we need strong verbs across the WIDA levels and across our language objectives. And so here's a taxonomy of verbs, and it's based on Bloom's taxonomy that we mentioned in class. But one of the things I wanted to also show you is from left to right, it gets more and more complex linguistically. And this wasn't necessarily made for WIDA levels or for CLD students. But one of the things I'll point out to is these kind of verbs: identify, list, name, recall. Those would be ideal kind of verbs for someone with a more like a level 1 or 2 WIDA student. And as you move into understand, you get kind of in that level: determine, differentiate, discuss. That gets a little more. As you get to apply and analyze, I can see 3, 4 level students doing many of these verbs: generalize, illustrate, interpret, analyze, correlate, criticize. That's 3, 4. And then here's your like 4, 5, and well, 6 have already exited out. But these ideas of assess and measure and revise, or prepare, produce, compose. And see, here they're creating new knowledge. Here they're just recalling knowledge. And it gets more and more both cognitively but also linguistically complex as it goes. And so that's in your readings in the resources for this week. Then there's this one that's specifically made for language objective functions and forms. So for functions, here's some verbs for you. And they grow more and more complex. And I could honestly see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you look at the verbs linguistically, what functions those have. And then forms, remember we talked about the word level, the sentence level, and the discourse level. Here are some supports for writing your language objectives here. And then here's that SWABOT template of language function, content domain. So students will be able to, then you put a language function about this content using these kind of language forms in reading, writing, speaking, or listening. And so there's a content objective and then an example of that here. And I love this the template formula is the word I'm looking for. And then here's the whole WIDA template. And as you like, it is amazing and it is so well designed and I love it. There's a but here. It's 392 pages. And so for me, when I feel like I'm like trying to use it, I'm like scrolling. As a former high school teacher, we're at the end, like it's scrolling, and you're on page like 360 before you get to what you need. And so if you go to WIDA's homepage, there's a resource library, right? And you can either go by topic or by type, or the document I was looking for y'all was can do descriptors, because I feel like it's shorter, and I'll show you that. And I can't type right now. And so you look that up, and I hope this works while I'm. But then a bunch of them come up for different grade levels, right? And all you have to do is click access resource, and you can either view or download it. So I already did this for you because I didn't want this video to be long. But here is a can do chart, but it's for all grades. So like, it's pre-K all the way through 9th and 12th. Why I like this is because I'm just stopping on 3 through 5 for funsies, okay? But if you look at, here's my domain of listening. Here are some SWABOTs that students can do like their can-do descriptors, right? At the different levels. So if I have level 3 and level 4 CLD students, I can look at these and maybe these work for listening, and find the one that works for the content objective, right? Or speaking, and here's the one that works. For reading, here's the ones that would work. And for writing, here's the ones that would work. So I figured that these would really help you do the SWABOT. You can, like, say you're a third grade teacher, they actually make it just for third through fifth grade. So you don't even have to scroll through 20 pages. It's still 14, but it is just your language. And what I like about this document is it adds this proficiency guide, which also helps when you're doing this stuff that I was showing you just a minute ago. So it's a shorter document. If you're just like, if I'm always going to teach grade 3 through 5, I'll probably just download the 3 through 5 cluster document rather than the K through 12 one. And then this other one is another, not cheat, but it's from the 2007, and it's from a wisconsin.edu site. But I call it the short WIDA document because instead of it being 392 pages, it's 44. And then it has charts that are, like, what are you trying to do? And it has different things that you might be trying to do, and then examples. And it has ideas in this charts. And so I like the example topics with the example ideas in this. And I know it's 2007, but I find it really useful. And so I thought I'd make you this quick video. I hope this helps showing you the resources. I should have shown you this the other night, but I just got excited to be with you when we were making language objectives, and I forgot to show you these resources. So I hope that these help. And you can just see there's different types of activities throughout the document. So I really like this particular one just because it shows you across the different language standards of WIDA what you might use. It's a really simplified version is why I like it. So I hope this helps, and I hope you have a wonderful week.